Hey everybody, it's Jim Bull, Jim Bull Talks. How you doing, folks? It's Thursday, I believe, Thursday afternoon, coming to you live from our studio in the Black Forest in God's country. Now, look, I'm learning, right? I'm starting to do a series of Bigfoot sighting videos from our area on YouTube here. And I wanted to, I picked up some new books today and I wanted to share that with you because I'm looking for stories. If you have stories or encounters or eyewitness, or you know someone who has, please reach out to me because we want to talk about it online, right? There's a huge following of people who believe in Bigfoot, Sasquatch, supernatural beings and entities that could exist. And there's just a lack of good content in my eyes. There's been some great stuff over the years, but lately, in my opinion, there's just been a lack of good content. And as we continue to scour the forest to see what really could be out there, we haven't done a lot of investigating ourselves. We may do some of that in the future, but that's serious business, folks. You know, it's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of productions out there, but it's serious business being out in the big woods, especially if you do it at nighttime. And have you ever thought about if you encountered one of these beings, you know, what then, right? You know, how might not be dangerous, but it could be extremely dangerous. Even trying to get around in that environment in the dark at nighttime, in the dark, you twist an ankle, you fall down a embankment, you fall into a ravine. Serious business being out there. So, but we want to talk about past instances, past sightings, past stories or occurrences that have happened from our area and share those with you. So, and we're going to do it while we're out in the woods for the most case. I'm sitting in my studio today. It's really, the weather turned really cold here. It's November 21st, the week before Thanksgiving in the year 2024. And I just didn't get an opportunity to get out. It got really cold. There's rain out there. They're going to get some snow later. So I don't want this to be real long. I picked up 2 new books today from our local library that I'm really fired up about. And they're from a author named Robert Lyman Sr. Okay. And I don't know a lot about him yet, but he wrote 2 books. One is called Forbidden Land. It's about strange events in the Black Forest. And this is volume 1 concerning the years 1614 through 1895. Now, these stories he's accumulated from investigations over the years, research over the years, talking to the Historical Society, past news articles, old-timers sharing stories, you know. That's the best way for news to travel, right? His second book was a follow-up called Amazing Indeed, which is more stories, strange events in the Black Forest. And this is concerning the years 1895, where this first edition stopped, through 1972. Okay, and that's when these books were both written, I believe. So I'm just getting started, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what kind of stories we're going to be able to share from this gentleman's findings, okay? One of the first quotes in the book that he wrote, "In the beginning was the forest. God made it, and no man knew the end of it." I love that. Some guy named Hervey Allen, H-E-R-V-E-Y, Hervey Allen said it. In the beginning was the forest. God made it, and no man knew the end of it. So the reason I'm doing this short little video here on my YouTube channel today, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel. It's to help you understand or maybe have some faith or belief that these types of creatures could exist. And I think we're going to get into a lot of mythical type creatures. But I just want to read you the preface of this book from Robert Lyman Sr. He was lived in Coudersport, Pennsylvania. I'm in Gailton, about 20 miles east of there. So the majority of these stories take place in Potter County and the surrounding fringes of Potter County: Clinton, Lycoming, Tioga, McKean. So, and this area was named the Black Forest, from what I'm learning so far, by German populations a long, long time ago. And we'll get into some of that down the road. But I want to read this preface just to get you to think a little bit, to maybe open up the mind to possibilities. This book is a chronicle of unusual, strange, mysterious, and unexplained events that happened in the Black Forest of north central Pennsylvania. It is one of the 2 books on the same subject. This one covers the events up until the year 1895. The other amazing indeed will bring the accounts up to the present time. Now, that was his present existence, 1970, early 1970s. And I believe that he states in here that he had been married for 50 years at that point. So this gentleman was probably pretty old then, and I imagine has passed since. These tales vary from the reasonable to the unreasonable, from humor to horror. I have recorded them as they were told to me by reliable persons, or as I found them reported in magazines, local papers, and personal documents. Most strange events were never reported, and fewer yet were recorded. In our materialistic age, now I love these next couple paragraphs. Think about today, 2024, and the 1970s. Some of you probably weren't even around then. But this is this gentleman's outlook on life from the 70s. Most strange events were never reported. In our materialistic age, few indeed are bad enough to tell all they observe for fear of ridicule. What was not recorded by someone in the past is lost forever to history. The purpose of this book is to publish reports that can yet be found. Okay? People were scared to death to bring the truth out about, if you said something like this back then, they'd stick you in the loony bin. Okay? I want to give you electroshock treatments, drill holes in your brain to see what's wrong with you. More widely accepted today. All reference books and histories contain errors. They include many mistakes. The authors believe that they know, but they do not know. We must question everything we read or hear or see. Imagine if this guy was alive today. AI, CGI, Photoshop, right? We must question everything we read or hear or see. The truth that purists desire will forever be denied us. There are no final answers to anything. For every answer leads to more questions. If we dig deep and think hard, we wind up with mysteries that cannot be explained. Many of these factual stories are unbelievable and stubbornly at odds with known natural laws. They will be denied by orthodox science. To admit that they are true might demolish all their comfortable theories. Since they cannot explain them, they ignore them, and it works too. Science has always placed a ridicule cover over strange events, and the general public conforms to protect their sense of security. Just asking you to think about what I'm reading. What the humblest person may say from his own experience is always worth listening to. But whatever the smartest person denies in his ignorance is never worth any consideration whatsoever. A foolish man thinks that he knows, but does not know. Perhaps you can believe more of these fantastic tales if you know that there is a law of mathematics that explains why they are hard to believe. That law is, many events that are extremely unlikely are simply bound to happen. The chances are millions to one that they will not happen to any one person, any time or place, but they will happen in time. That is the logic of chance. Do not ask me if all these tales are true. I can offer no more proof than I have given. I have asked many questions and answered few. Where can anyone find truth? Who can tell the false from the true? What is the truth? I do know that nothing is more fantastic than facts. Nothing is too amazing to be true. I am far too much of a skeptic to deny the impossibility of anything. Just does this not relate to what we're living right now? The last couple years? There's stuff coming, folks. Boy, hold on to your hats. Open your mind. The stories I'm going to tell you down the road here, I'm asking you to open your mind to. Call these accounts absurd or tall tales if you like, but do not be too positive that you are right. Believe if you can, or deny as you may elect. Your opinions or mine cannot change facts. If you become a believer, I warn you that you had better hold your tongue, or you will be lonely, or you will be a lonely soul with few to talk to. Now, this isn't as true as it was in the 70s, okay? I talked about that a few minutes ago. The uninformed and those with closed minds will shun you, okay? I warn you that you had better hold your tongue, or you will be a lonely soul with few to talk to. The uninformed and those with closed minds will shun you. One thing is certain, there are more mysteries than known facts. We live in a strange and baffling world that is even more bizarre than we can imagine. There will always be something to keep us puzzled. A very few of these articles appeared in my History of Roulette, PA. They are repeated here to include more details uncovered since that book was published. So he had a book prior to this about the history of roulette, which is west of me, another, well, probably 10 miles beyond Coudersport, 30 miles from here, okay? Unless otherwise stated, most of these events happened in Potter County. The exact locations of a few were not disclosed in my research. I'm going to try and get into the areas the stories come from as much as I can, but some are hard to access, especially with winter coming, but we'll do our best to get out there. Okay. Most personal names are real. A very few have been changed by request or for obvious reasons. I am indebted to my many persons for their cooperation with their help. Most of all to the editors, living and dead, of the many local newspapers for the past 130 years who published unusual events at the time they happened. He's given some credits here. To Curtis and Mary Fuller of Fate magazine for searching their files and permission to republish parts of various accounts. To David Hufford, state folklorist, Harrisburg, PA, or Dr. Robert Byington, Point Park College, Pittsburgh, PA. Dr. Frank Huffman, State University of Buffalo, New York. Members of the Pennsylvania Folklore Society for their assistance. These are all people that contributed to the stories we're going to learn about in the coming weeks here on my YouTube channel at Jim Bull Talks. I hope you guys watch along, follow along. A.P. Ackley, Mabel Swanson, and Maxine Curran of the Potter County Historical Society for their help. I'm sure a lot of these people have passed because this is an old book. This is 50 years old, this book. He was married for 50 years at the time of its writing, okay? To my tolerant wife, Lorena, he's given his wife credit, who has lived with me for half a century, knowing me to be a skeptic and nonconformist and one who rejects faith, demands proof, and believes that most people do most things wrong most of the time. Now, I'm a big believer in faith, okay? I'll go out on faith all the time. Apparently, this gentleman wasn't about that. He wants proof, okay? He's demanding proof. But he does believe that most people do most things wrong most of the time. I'm over there. I'm in that club, right? Okay? I don't want to think that way, but that's the truth. Each generation makes its ancestors' same mistakes over and over again because they will not study history and gain its knowledge. Now, haven't they tried to take our history from us the last couple of years? We need the history. It's so important that we know that where we came from, where we're going, okay? And the knowledge that comes from it, as Robert Lyman says, okay? To those who told me the tales or wrote the accounts, credit is given with each article. To Laura Lyman Chastain, Susan Good Parnell, and Ralph H. Twinning for proofreading, and to Dan Shalkowski, who typed the manuscript. Okay, so that's the end of the preface written by Robert Lyman Sr. from Coudersport, Pennsylvania, who wrote these two books, Forbidden Land and Amazing Indeed. And I think it's so cool. There's a large carnivorous bird. I talked about this in one of my earlier videos. There was a gentleman here just last year, a journalist, down the Kettle Creek region searching for the Thunderbird. Okay. I love how Robert says in here, if I can find it quickly, there are no final answers to anything. Every answer leads to more questions. If we dig deep and think hard, we wind up with mysteries that cannot be explained. Many of these factual stories are unbelievable and stubbornly at odds with known natural laws to be denied by science. But I'll ask you, why can't they be true? And I wanted to do this. It's different from what I want to put on my channel here. I normally don't read from books, and I do that on Jim Bull Talks on Facebook, but I don't do that on my YouTube channel. We're just getting the YouTube thing built back up. We used to do a lot of things with our Brat magazine years ago there, but we're just getting that kick back off. So I hope you join me. I hope you watch this. I wanted to say all that stuff to get you to think, why not? Why can't there be a Thunderbird in existence? Why can't there be a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or some other type of hairy man or wolfman, werewolf type creatures that roam the forest? You know, some kind of, who knows what, right? Who knows what? Let's walk together. Let's talk together and discover what's out there later.